Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of A Safe Space for Men. I'm your host as usual. Before we get started, please remember to rate, review, like, and subscribe to the podcast. I truly appreciate it. What's going on, y'all? I'm finally, for the most part, over my little sickness. I was sick for almost 2 weeks. My results came back. Everything was negative, but they were able to let me know that I had. It's called influenza too, so I guess that's flu number 2 or whatever the fuck that is. I didn't even know it was more than one flu. But yeah, it had me down for let's see. It started on a Thursday, so it was about 12 days. We're coming out of like the basically would be the the second weekend of me having it. So I went through the first weekend and the second weekend. So it was about 12 days, which was actually like a really, I don't know. I've never been that sick in my life. Like I really felt like I was fighting for my life. Ironically, which in this episode I'm actually going to tell you about a time where I was literally fighting for my life. We'll get to that a little later. But yeah, man. And I'm not a vaccine person. I don't really get anything that isn't necessary. Definitely don't get the flu shot. I got the flu shot once my entire life, like literally once my entire life, and I was an adult. It was like 4 years ago, and I had only got it because Jordan was an infant, and you know they guilt you into getting it. Oh, can you get it because she can get sick? So you know all that good stuff. Got the fucking shot, and I was down. I was fucked up for like a good week. But yeah, I'm happy to be back to my normal self. I'm energized. I feel great. I'm back in the gym. I'm playing with Jordan. I'm doing all the stuff. I'm eating my regular food. Like I'm good. I'm back where I want to be. Over the weekend, I went to Dom's 1 year anniversary celebration for our podcast, Melanated Vibrations. It was a really beautiful, good show. Like she did a phenomenal job, man. And the food was catered by what is his name? I think it's No Mirage. I don't know if I'm saying the right name, but if you're from Philly, you know the guy that everybody knows he's a great chef, but the food was delicious. It's a great experience. Got to meet a lot of people that I had been like having interactions with online, but got to meet them in person. I met a couple people from the network, especially Big Exclusive, who actually runs the Big Exclusive Network. I met him. Just really good people. Just connecting. It's good to like meet people that's in the same space I'm in. Like the podcast space is like to me, it's a really dope space. Like everybody's pretty much willing to help one another. Everybody's trading off ideas. It's not really like an environment where people hate on one another, which is really important. Like other genres of stuff that people, whatever your craft could be, whether it's a rapper or anything, a singer, like you normally in those environments you run into people that are like hating and that's not what this is. So I'm looking forward to hopefully collaborating with them in the future and just doing some things. I got some ideas. They got some ideas, so it's gonna be fun. I had some really good conversations over the weekend. So shout out to Dom. Congratulations to you making it 1 year in the podcast game. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of studying, a lot of research. But yes, it's a good thing to do. I mean, I love it. And for those of you that don't know, our podcast can be found every Monday, 7 p.m. on the Big Exclusive Network, which is available on YouTube. She covers a lot of mental health related issues as well as self-care, healing. It's just I don't know. To me it's a really good podcast. I love it. I think it's a really dope podcast. So yeah, check her out. Today, what did I do today? I got up, I got my hair done. Well, of course, dropped the kids off to school. Did all that zigging and zagging. I went and got my hair done, and then we had to go to the dentist. Me and John had a dentist appointment, and kind of found out I gotta get a fill-in, and I gotta go back in like 2 weeks, and they want me to change my toothpaste, all this crazy stuff. But it was a quick visit. We were in and out in like an hour. Of course, Jordan doesn't have any cavities. Like she's good, knock on wood. But I don't allow her to eat any candy for the most part. She has like one piece of candy a month. Like I don't really fuck with that shit. I don't need her teeth getting bad. But yeah. So I kind of touched on this last week. but I didn't get a chance to really dive all the way into it, well, at least my last episode. Because one, I was sick, partially because I was sick, and the other reason, I wasn't sure I was ready to share this story quite yet, because some other stuff that I'm working on the side that has something to do with it, but I checked and I'm actually good. So I was talking last week about like men that were wrongfully arrested and convicted and things like that. I may have mentioned I had a cousin that experienced something similar to that. He, him and his ex got into it. Of course, it's what happens in these situations is, and this is solely off experience and the things that I've seen and the things that I know. And these situations are always used as a way to leverage with the kids. Like, I don't know what it is about how, like, I don't want to stereotype, but women that when guys break up, whatever's going on, things get nasty, the first thing they do is go down to the courthouse to file a PFA or file for custody and things of that nature. Of course, you need things to leverage against that so that you can, win the case. My cousin went through it. He came out on top. He's good. I got a really close friend that's going through it right now. His stuff is still in the process. And it just seems like this stuff, it gets really, really fucking ugly. Excuse me, my gosh. I promise y'all I'm not sick. It just seems like these things get really fucking ugly. And when it could just be so simple, like, why can't we just co-parent like we've been co-parents and all of our lives that we've had these children? And in his situation, I don't want to tell his business, but it's one of those situations where what he's been accused of, he just didn't do. I know he didn't do it. I know he didn't do it. Like, don't ask me how I know. I just know he didn't do it. It's one of those situations where the other person is just trying to leverage it to get money and to get the power and control of the children. Because once you get the power and control of the children, you get more money in child support, which ultimately, like, that tells you a lot about a person. Like, I can be with you for 10 years, and then the minute things go left, you go file for child support. But I've been taking care of you, me, our kids, your kids, like our entire lives. Like, that's fucking insane. You already know how I'm a carrot anyway. So in most of these cases, people don't even realize, like, you go and file for child support and you coming out of a situation where you have someone that's doing anything for you, you're going to get less money anyway. Even if they give you $1,000 a month. If I was paying the mortgage and the mortgage is $1,200 a month, and I was paying for cars and I have put food in the house and buying clothes, $1,000, I'm saving money now. But of course, people are ignorant and not fucking educated. But yeah, so I'm really going. Can I tell y'all a story? I hope y'all say yeah. So, because that's what I'm doing today. I'm gonna tell y'all my story. I'm gonna tell y'all what happened to me, what I went through, and then why I look at certain things a certain way, and why I have this approach now. Like, this will explain why I have such a calm approach to like women, and I just do my best to stay out of arguments. People threaten me, I just walk away. And why, when it comes to like the court system and my kids, like I do everything directly through the court system now because of pretty much just like my first real experience with the court system, and where it didn't really go in my favor, depending on how you look at it. Some people feel like it did. Some people I feel like it didn't. So let me get into it. I was going to talk about it last week, of course, but I didn't. But again, like I said, my biggest thing with y'all, I like to be really transparent. I like to be really honest and give you the information. Like, this is what happened to me. This is what I went through, and this is why I believe this. And so it was about 10 or 11 years ago. I got arrested for some shit that I just didn't do. At the time, the person I was married to had me arrested and locked up for assault and a bunch of other charges. What was it? It was aggravated assault, simple assault, terroristic threats, assault with a deadly weapon, endangering the welfare of a person, possession of an instrument of crime. There's like two other charges that I can't think of. I remember the first attorney I had hired. Again, this is the first time I really needed a criminal attorney as an adult. He was referred to me by a family member. I ended up firing him because when I went to court with him, I was facing 18 to 34 years. And I looked at him and he was telling me, like, I think you should take the deal. And I was like, yeah, I can't. I'm not paying you another dime. And then I had like looked him up and realized he had no criminal defense history. And I had asked my father, like, why did y'all fucking send me him? He's not This isn't his specialty. I'm never, when I get out, all of y'all gonna be dead when I get out. Like, so I got rid of him and I hired a guy named Alan Saget. She was a pretty good attorney. I got some discrepancies, but I didn't do any jail time in the end. So when I got with him and we went to court, the first offer they gave me was 2 to 3 years. And I was just like, I take my chances. If we go from that high number to 2, 3 years, that tells me some shit in your case that you can't, you know what I mean? You don't have anything. You're just going off of what this person is saying. Ended up going to trial. I was given probation for simple assault, and that charge alone. Everything else got thrown out. Did probation for a year. Only had to check in once. Was supposed to check in twice. Let me tell you how fucked up the probation system is. Anybody knows me, y'all know I forget shit. So I forgot to check in for my last check. We supposed to check in twice. One at 6 months and then one on the last day of your probation. I forgot to check in. So I called probably 3 months afterwards, like, oh shit, I forgot to check in. The lady was so ignorant. I was like, yo, I forgot to check in. I just looked at my paperwork. I didn't even realize it. And she was just so fucking rude. Like, well, did the cops come get you? And it's just like, bro, like, you should, first of all, you met me in person and you know I'm really, like, I'm a nice guy. So I feel like people try me because I am a nice guy, but we'll get to that. And she just was like a complete dick to me, but I don't remember her name. I got it written down somewhere. But yeah, it's just another one of those people, like, if I see him in Walmart, that fucking cart is getting flipped. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. So now what happened? How did I get there? Through a friend of a friend. So somebody I was cool with, was friends with my wife's best friend at the time. And that's kind of how I found out my wife was cheating on me. And it's like such a small world, but and then you probably want to know, well, Ron, how you know that information was accurate? Because she was able to tell me like specific details of an argument that I had with her on the day and time that I had the argument with her. She's like, hey, yeah, you and your wife was arguing about this, and that on this day. Only way you would know, you had to be in my house to know that. She knew that because she told her best friend, and then I think her best friend wanted me to know because, like, again, not to sound like I'm not the perfect man or anything like that, but she knew what type of person I was. She knows that I'm a good man, I'm a good dad, like, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. So, and like, sometimes you have those friends that know, like, they might be your best friend, but they also know, like, you ain't shit. Like, you're a terrible wife or a terrible girlfriend, whatever. So, I think she purposely told her, and I can't use names here because I don't want anyone to get in trouble, but I think she purposely told her because she was, let Ryan know what's going on. And that's pretty much what happened because she hit me up and she's like, hey, and she was very like, Ryan, look, I'm not trying to be in your business, I don't want you to think I'm hating, but, this is what happened. I know this happened in your house. And then the night that she said she was going with her sister, she wasn't with her sister. She was with this guy. All right, cool. And I believe it because she had no reason to call me. I hadn't talked to her, like, probably in a couple weeks. And again, it's a childhood friend, too. So it's like my childhood friend. She feels like she has a loyalty to let me know and to look out for me, which is love. And if she's listening, shout out to you. Thank you. You probably saved my life. Yeah. And to this day, we're still friends. So, yeah, I ended up confronting her about it, and of course she lied. And even in this moment, I'm not even angry at this very moment because, again, it's somebody I had a lot of history and time with, a lot of on and off with the relationship, just a lot. And we ended up getting married. We shouldn't have got married, had no business getting married at all. Got married for all the wrong reasons. But I let her know, like, you didn't need to lie. But we was at the point of no return. And it was just like, hey, I know what you're doing. Let's go our separate ways. Because at that date, at this time, we had time to get the marriage annulled. It was still inside 90 days. Like, it's not really a divorce. We just get it annulled. Oh, excuse me. I'm burping a lot today. Ugh. Of course, she still denied it. It was on something like, oh, that's not what happened. You don't know what you're talking about. And it's just like, you're caught. Like, and this is very much a person that when they're caught lying, they don't own it. At least in that, where we were at, in that age, she did not own it. She would never own it. This is what she did. And again, I'm a fool for marrying her. Again, I have no problem saying that. So at the time, I was enrolled to go into the Navy. So all these things are actually part of like my belief of what she was trying to do, and I was shipping out in a matter of weeks. So I personally think, and so does a lot of my family, that she had a plan like to let me leave and like ship out. Because of course, like definitely your first year in the military, you're like out. Probably your first 2-3 years, you're really away. Um, and of course, she was supposed to come with me. She was gonna move wherever I was stationed at. But the first, I think boot camp was like 16 weeks or 12 weeks or something like that. So they were like, she was probably gonna try to like let you ship out, be married long enough, and then fuck you over, like have a whole side nigga while you was like away, and then like if she got caught, then she would, like because in the military when you get divorced, they automatically like give the wife like a portion of your pension, all this other stuff. There's so much that goes into that, and like again, I don't want to make it seem like money is the thing here, but I believe that in this situation, it absolutely was one of the motives. And it's not to make it seem like I was the perfect husband or anything like that. Not at all. Um, but there was absolutely a lot of money coming with us being married in the military. So the one thing that did set me off, I remember we was like in the kitchen, and I was just like, I don't get it. Like, you got a home, like both cars got gas. It's fucking warm in here. It's the wintertime. Bills are paid. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're not hungry. Like, what's going on? Kids got, like, everything is taken care of. And I'm like, but why are you just out here cheating? This is the only time that she admitted or somewhat admitted to it. This woman looked me dead in my eyes and said, "You think that shit means something to me?" And now I can laugh about it because it is funny as shit, like if you sit there and think about it. But I remember I was hot after that because here I am, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be as a young man, as a very young man, taking care of my children, taking care of a kid that isn't mine, taking care of the whole family. And like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I remember I like broke a lamp and left. Later on, I came home in the house. I was getting some clothes so I can go back to my mom's house. I was like, I'm just going to my mom's house until you move out. When you move out, you let me know. We'll figure out what we're going to do with the kids. But at the time, like we was doing before we were together, like it doesn't even matter. But I just need you out. And of course, this girl never had anywhere to go. She was always living with somebody. Like it's just, I'm not even gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. That's foul. But yeah. So came back. I was getting close to my mom's house. This woman pulled a hammer out on me. Not a gun, not street term hammer, an actual hammer, like Bob the Builder. Pulled a hammer out and told me I wasn't going nowhere. And now here I am, you're standing in between me and the door, and I'm just like, what? So of course she charged at me. I pushed her on the bed and got the fuck up out of there. Just rolled out. And where did I go that night? I think I went to my brother's house. I ended up going to my brother's house, telling him what happened. I went to my brother's house. And that was it. I didn't think anything of it. 3 days later, I got arrested and charged. So, full disclosure, because I don't know if I wrote that down. So the simple assault, you know what they told me what simple assault was? Simple assault was me pushing her onto the bed. My thing was, how can that be simple assault if she's coming at me with a hammer? They're saying that's simple assault. So was I supposed to let her hit me first and possibly paralyze or kill me? The court system can be so like they really can stereotype sometimes, because of course I come in there, I'm this big guy. I'm like, even then I was a lot more fit then. I didn't have this weight. I was probably like 225, 230 pounds, but I was like slim and I was kind of cut because I was getting ready for the military. So I feel like they was looking at that and then looking at this little woman that's saying all these things, this and that. But yeah, what was funny was I had members of her family calling me like, we know this bitch is lying. Like basically saying like, we know she lying. We know she not telling the truth. We know how she is. That's just what she does. I got bailed out the same day, of course. Shout out to my friends. Shout out to King, Andre, Matt, Dinky, Connie, all of them. Everybody, even my sister. I was locked up with somebody that worked at the precinct I went to school with. He was able to call my sister and let her know where I was at. But yeah, the cops are pretty cool when they arrested me. They wasn't like drawn. They let me call my job. They let me call. I think I called 3 people. I called my job. I called King, and I forgot. I think I called Andre. I think that was my 3 calls. And then they let me put my wallet. I put my wallet in my mailbox. I told King like, yo, my card is here. Go take out whatever amount. And then like, of course they had to add some money to it because I had a nice, it was a nice little amount of a bill back then 10 years ago. But yeah, I was getting the fuck out of that day. I wasn't gonna stay. Once they tell you, once I heard, when the bus come, you gotta go sit in quarantine for 2 days. No, hello, y'all gotta come get me. I used my one phone call from the prison. I called King. I said, y'all got to come get me. but yeah, it's incredible that I can laugh about this shit now. So I fought this thing in court for about over a year. And I had no choice. Like just being faced with the idea of not being able to see my kids and not watch them grow up, and possibly when I get out of jail, like they're grown. Like I would probably, if I was lucky, I'd probably be getting out of jail. I would have been just got out of jail or getting ready to get out of jail. Like if it was on good behavior or something like that, depending on the situation, like depending on what I ended up with, because there was so many different numbers being thrown out there. During the trial, this woman tried to extort me for custody. I have the proof. I still have the text message. She texted me saying if I gave her sole custody, she would drop all charges against me. I have the fucking message. I have the message. And it's like, what? Like that alone. So yeah, obviously when a person sends that kind of message out and wants to get it to me, like that lets you know right then and there. I actually think maybe they might have told her the case was weak. So like she probably felt like I would be an idiot and she could leverage it to get custody. So all I ended up doing was screenshotted it. I took it to my attorney. I showed it to him. You know, he felt like, because it was through a third party, he was like, I think we could use it as evidence, but I don't know, to be honest, when we showed that shit in court, I felt like the judge didn't give a fuck about it. I had a lady judge at the time. I felt like her mind was made up before I even testified. I feel like her mind was made up, because even she got on the stand and admitted, like, yeah, I sent that message. And like, right, and I remember when that happened, like I kind of like teared up, because I felt like, oh damn, this should like get me off. Heavily mistaken. I ended up getting a misdemeanor assault charge. Not misdemeanor assault. I ended up getting charged with simple assault, which ended up being probation. And I kind of knew right before the trial, I knew I wasn't getting jail time, because like right before the trial was that morning. It was like 9:00. So we get there like 8:30, 8:15. The state comes and we go in the room. They offer me 1 year probation. Oh, we'll just offer you 1 year probation. You plead everything out. And I was just like, no. Like, because at that moment, once we went from 18 years to 2 years, and then now you're talking about probation, that lets me know that, like, you feel like you don't have anything that could put me in jail. So, and you didn't, because I didn't do any of the shit that she said I did. And in full disclosure, forget the charges. So, she told them that I tried to set her on fire. That was what she told them. Like, full disclosure. And that carried all those other charges. That's for, like, the instrument of the crime and this and that. And I even remember sitting there, like, looking like I'm 6'1". Like, I could, like, are you serious? Like, if I was trying to set her on fire, I could have set her on fire. You understand? Like, if that's what, if she says I did what she says I did, if I did what she says I did, then she wouldn't be standing here. Like, do you see how fucking big I am? Like, come on. And yeah, it was fucking bullshit, man. I don't know. It's probably, I guess it was a lesson. I remember my grandma was never, my grandma was always respectful of her, but she never, she even told me, I remember when she first met her, the first time she met her, she came to my house. We were kids. We were like 17 or 18. She came to the house like a little white skirt. And I remember my grandma said, like, I don't like the fact that the first time that I'm meeting her, she has a little skirt on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and my grandma was very much old school. She's old fashioned. She's a grandmother. And of course, I'm a kid. I'm young. I'm 17, 18. You know, I'm thinking about one thing anyway. So, I paid it no mind. But man, my grandma, there was some other things she did to me, which we won't talk about today. But my grandmother was not fond of her for her. She respected her. And of course, by this time, my grandma was already dead. She had passed away a couple years before this. But she was never like one of her favorite people. She wasn't a fan at all. And of course, because of the conviction and the trial, the military was put on the back burner, which is something at the time I really wanted to do. That was what I wanted to do, because I was trying to get out of Philly. I was tired of like working on these jobs that I was working, and I felt like, damn, I could go to the military, get them a couple years, And even if I get relocated somewhere else, but it would just put me in a better financial situation. It would put me in a better, just with more opportunity to do something different. I wouldn't be in the city of Philadelphia where all this killing and all this other stuff is going on. But obviously, I ended up not going. By the time the trial was over, I had like reached back out to them. I had put on so much weight. It was just because over a year of just like being stressed the fuck out. You don't know if you're going to jail. I did a lot of shit while I mean I kind of was like I was probably spiraling out of control at this time. That was around the time, yeah, so Emma's about to be 10. That was around the time Emma was conceived. Because again, me and Emma's mom, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, was never in a relationship. That was something I was dealing with. There was people, I mean, feelings that got hurt. You know, like I mentioned, a girl that I had to call, I reached out recently and apologized to. Like all this stuff was going on, and I was smoking weed, like ridiculous amount of weed. Like, oh my God, like a ridiculous amount. Just a lot, going out, drinking. I was just doing anything, having parties at the house. I was drawn. Like I was really, really drawn. Like I mean, like pulling all-nighters, just being up all night. It was really a wild time, man. And obviously I wasn't addressing a lot of stuff that was going on with me. I'm glad I got through all that stuff. But so also during the trial, when we talk about these PFAs, she got a PFA during obviously when she pressed charges against me. So here's the kicker about PFA. When you get a PFA, somebody goes get a PFA, they can you can go get a PFA against anybody, and then you can put whatever address on it that you want to. They don't check the shit. Like you got to get in front of a judge to get that address. And then like in my situation, my first time going there in front of for a PFA, I didn't have an attorney with me and none of that. It was just like they didn't want to hear nothing I had to say. And I'm like, yo, she don't even live. This house is my house. Like everything is in my name. This is my place. Like she moved in with me. And we really hadn't even been there long enough for her to even like have any type of rights to the crib. But of course, oh, she's your wife. And while I'm arrested and stuff, she wasn't even staying there. Like she had broke in and took some stuff, and we'll get to that. But yeah, so like not a single, she, like I said, no longer staying there, but she used the PFA to get in the house, get the cops coming there. While I wasn't there, still all my shit, clothes, electronics, TVs, stole an Xbox, video games, appliances, DVDs, took all the cable boxes. She stole money out of a joint account we had, and she didn't put a dime into it. Like, it wasn't a lot of money. It was like $500-600, but this was money that I put in there. Still my money. And it just took stuff. Like, just wanted to, like, you already are in the wrong. You already, like, doing all this, you're cheating, you're doing all this crazy shit, and it's like, you gotta feel like you're winning, and it's just like, all right, like, you know what I mean? I had to go to the court to get the judge to remove my address from the PFA, because I had to get my attorney going and say, like, she's not even living at the property. Like, she's just doing this so he doesn't have anywhere to live. You know what I mean? So I was staying at my mom's house at the time, which is fine. Like, I always have somewhere to go. As long as my mother's alive, I will have somewhere to go. Or my sister or brother, you know what I mean? But it was just to try to make me uncomfortable. And it just was bullshit, man. I'm like, I explained the situation to the judge, and, you know, eventually he lifted it and was like, okay, you can go there, And luckily the property was owned by a friend of mine's. So he boarded the house up and everything, but I got pictures of everything. I mean, like, they came in and ransacked the crib, and only reason I didn't do nothing to nobody, to be honest with you, is because these are like the aunts and uncles of my kids. Because of course, you know, they're gonna take her aside. They come there with her, stealing shit and stuff like that. But just know my kids are all gonna be grown very soon. The whole situation was insane, honestly. Like, it really was. It's weird because, so she was cheating with somebody that worked at her job, and then she was cheating with somebody else from her past. Like, it was just like a lot of shit going on. Actually, the person she was cheating on me with, she's still with to this day, which is insane. I don't really won't get into that. Up until recently, she would even try to be like my friend, act like nothing happened, and I think like the last time I spoke to her, like we got into it a little bit. Not even got into it. She said she texted me some nasty things around Thanksgiving, calling me scorned, this and that, and I just blocked her. And like, cause honestly, it's like, no, bitch, I ain't scorned. I just don't fuck with you, and I don't fuck with people that try to ruin my life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you put me in jail on a lie. You know, I need you to understand that. Like, how would you feel if someone got you arrested on a lie? Like, made some shit up that follows you for the rest of your life until you get it removed. And I'm gonna be very accountable. Like, I wasn't the perfect husband. I wasn't ready to be a husband. I wasn't. I probably didn't want to be a husband. Be honest. Shit, there was times where I didn't even wear my ring. Be very frank. I remember there was a time on Halloween I ran into P. Shout out to P. P listens. I went to the bar, went to Elements, and I remember I was walking out, and people was like, "Oh, for Halloween you a single man?" And I was like, "Damn!" Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was just like we had no business getting married. We was too young. Neither one of us was ready. We weren't mature enough. It was a lot. Like it was more so I was doing I was doing my job, like providing and stuff like that. But like I just didn't want to. After I got married, I knew very quickly I did not want to be married to her. Like I knew very quickly, that's not like shade or a shot at her. I just knew that, excuse me, at the time and where I was at in life, I had no desire to be married. And ultimately, I didn't want to be married to her though. Which was again why I made it easier once I found out she was cheating. When I found out she was cheating, it was really like it was more like a relief. It was like, oh, okay, this is what you're doing. It was like cool. Like now I don't feel bad about not even wanting to be in a situation with you. Maybe this is the way for us to get out this situation. And of course, no, that's not what happened. This motherfucker tried to ruin my life. But yeah, there was no anger. There was no real anger for real. I didn't have that in me to be angry. Like the only thing that was really left was disappointment. Like you still doing these ridiculous things. You still not, you know what I mean? You still not appreciating like the stuff that I do. You're still, I was like, all right, cool, fuck you. Funny story. So I think I told y'all like on an earlier episode about a story where because we was talking about God and like being religious. Like I'm not super religious, but I do pray. I believe in the power of prayer. I don't go to church. I've never been baptized, but I remember me and her. We was very young, probably like 20, 21 years old. We were going through some stuff, and I remember like I just woke up one day and I was just like God, just send me a sign, please let me know what I'm supposed to do. And like I had came out my apartment, I walked around the car, and there was a cut cord, like a cut electrical cord, like right in front of me. And I felt like that was a sign. And of course I didn't listen, because eventually years down the line I ended up marrying this person. But yeah, I feel like I didn't listen, so God had to really show me. He was like, oh, okay. You ain't gonna take these signs that I've been sending you all these years. And it's just like I had to learn a really valuable lesson in life. And like thankfully I didn't like have to do any prison time and stuff like that. I spent a lot of money on lawyers and shit like that, and took some time off of work and shit like that. Like it was stressful. I had to go through it. I had to go through that so that I could learn a lesson. You know what I mean? I really did. And I mean, I don't know. I try to find like, I guess the bright spot and stuff. But yeah, again, I wasn't perfect. She wasn't perfect. This is what it was. But I definitely had no business. I didn't deserve none of this shit that happened to me. That I will say, and I stand on that. And again, just being faced with the possibility of not seeing my kids grow up was really fucking stressful. And you know, again, like the person that you have these children with is the one doing like it's I don't know when you're in it, you just like really trying to feel like, are you really that selfish? Or are you really? And again, I think it was like I really believe. Well, obviously, yeah, like do me dirty while I'm in the Navy, but I also believe, because again, I'm not about to act like I was an angel. Back then, I probably borderline, little hot-tempered, crazy, whatever you want, like very, very much, like I fuck somebody up, like, you know what I'm saying? So I really think that she was more worried that I was going to do something to the guy or the guys, and it was just like, no, I was really in a place where I was like y'all can have her, because if all of this that I'm doing means nothing, I'm pretty, like, eventually she's going to do it to you. And then she has done it to them. You know what I mean? Don't ask me how I know. That's not my business. So as of now, my record has been expunged. My record got expunged late last year. Whenever it hit like the 10-year mark, it was like last November. It hit it got expunged, and now I'm working trying to get my arrest pardoned because I just want that shit all the way off my record. For one, two, it's actually so that I can get my license to carry, like that way I can actually carry out the house instead of like from a legal standpoint you only have a gun in the house. There's a really big difference considering where I live at, the city I live in. But the pardon process, it takes between 2 and 3 years, which is, and it's not even guaranteed, like because it has to go before the governor, and then you gotta hope that you get the governor at a good time. Depends on what kind of elections is going on, like what's going, like right now. If I can get it through right now, this is actually a really good time because of the governor is in power and because of the district attorney that we have. To be fairly honest, this is a really good time to get it done. So I'm hoping I'll get it done and it gets approved, but again, it's a 2 to 3 year process. So this will probably be towards the end of the DA we have now, because I think he just got elected for his second term. But yeah, I'm hoping, hopefully it goes well. But yes, if I could tell anybody anything, it's just that, and this will probably be my message of the day, is just run as soon as you see them red flags, and like I don't know, it's looking back when you're young and the bad decisions that we make or the choices that we make and how they like affect us long term, and that's kind of how I try to teach my kids. And of course now again I talk about being able to have these honest conversations with my kids as they get older. Of course I had never told my kids anything, never talked to them about it until they asked or approached. And my oldest daughter, Janaea, once she got of age, she would ask questions, and once she found out what happened, she was like, of course they're gonna love her and everything there, but she like started to lose respect for her because she was like, she left you for him, or she put you in jail. Like, kids are smart, they can look things up online, and it's just, again, like now I tell my kids like, yeah, like, cause she literally, even at that age, when at the time they were like, they were not even double digits. I think they were like 7, 8, something like that. And she would tell them like, oh, your dad tried to kill me, this, and that. And if I did do that, I still don't think that's something that you tell kids. You know what I mean? Like if she tried to kill me, like her coming at me with a hammer, I didn't tell my kids that. Just like, we never even talked about it, honestly, which could have been a mistake. But I never had those conversations with my kids when they're small. Like me and your mom are in court and she's trying to take me away from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I could have very easily spunt it like that. But I didn't. I never did. I continued to be a dad, continued to get my kids every other day, every other weekend. That was our agreement. And yeah, but now that they're older, again, having those honest conversations with your kids when they are like of age and they're almost adult or they're late teens and stuff like that. It's a beautiful thing, man, because I can be really honest with them and be really fucking like blunt and no, this is what happened. You know what I mean? And I'm not telling you this so that you can take my side. I'm just telling you this so you can know the truth. And if you believe it, you believe it. If you don't, you don't. And if you got any more questions, I can show you paperwork. I can show you text messages. I can show you proof, which is why I really don't delete stuff. People think I'm crazy or a petty. No, I really don't delete text messages. Like I have text messages going back like 15 years. Anything that I say, I can prove, which is why when people be like, oh, he's lying, I just be like, hold up. And iPhone is a beautiful thing because all I gotta do is search part of the conversation. I could, like, whatever it is, put a couple words in, the conversation is gonna come up. But screenshot is there too. I have screenshots going back 15 years. But yeah, so I have all that stuff. I have all my proof. But yeah, my advice to anybody that's like, you're in a relationship with a woman and the signs are always there. For me, what I ignored was when telling someone no and then they act like a kid. Someone that's like super reliant on you, whether it's financially, anything like that. Like you gotta notice those things. And it's okay to be a provider and stuff like that, but you gotta notice the difference between like you providing for a person and them needing you to provide for them. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people go into survival mode when like that thing isn't gonna be there for them no more. We're not gonna be together. So now I gotta go into survival mode. I gotta do what I gotta do to keep as much of this as I can or take from you. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, just I don't know, just the warning signs, man. Which is why in a way, I'm thankful. I'm not glad it happened to me, but I'm thankful that I went through it, so that now as I date and I meet people, I can see things and I can just be like, oh yeah, I'm not doing that. I don't want to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I know every relationship isn't perfect, every situation isn't perfect, but yeah, guys, just be fucking aware. Do not allow these women to draw you into situations where you can lose your freedom. Do not allow them to fucking take your livelihood from you, take your kids from you. Like, no, get up and just walk away. Even if you feel like, because I've been in relationships where women like to get handsy and put their hands on me, and you can very simply just whip your fucking phone out and start recording. In my house, I have cameras everywhere. Like, I don't got time. I'm not going back, ever, unless someone does something to my kids. Like, but no other females put me in jail. Like, I'm not gonna allow that to happen ever again. My plug for today is gonna be my girl Dom Godwin, host of Melanated Vibrations on the Big Exclusive Network. Every Monday at 7 p.m. It's Miss Dom and Adair. This is a really, really outstanding show. As I mentioned earlier, they cover a lot of mental health. They're therapists. They are licensed therapists. They know their stuff. They know what they're talking about. So check them out every Monday at 7 p.m. on the Big Exclusive Network. Again, as usual, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for sitting here and listening to me tell some stories and just, I don't know, I just like to share some of the stuff I've been through. Hopefully it helps somebody. Hopefully, I mean, I know I don't want to say hopefully somebody went through that, but I mean, I'm pretty sure there's somebody that can relate and that's gonna be like, what the fuck? There's probably gonna be some people that have known me for all this time but didn't know that happened. Because I really don't talk about it. But yeah, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. Until next week, y'all. Peace.